We're going to take a look at Mehdi Hasan grilling the shit out of Redonk's boy. Right here. Vivek. It rhymes with cake. Vivek Ramaswamy getting his ass handed to him by Mehdi Hasan.
Vivek Ramaswamy, thank you so much for coming on the show today. You and I both grew up as kids of Indian immigrants who loved to debate, super confident, perhaps overconfident in our views. But here's the difference. I kind of know my limits. You, on the other hand, having never held or even run for any elected office before, be it Congress or even school board.
That's petty. Damn. He came in hot.
Having not voted in 3 presidential elections in a row, suddenly now want to be president, go straight.
Damn, he wasn't done. I called it too soon. He still had more to come.
For the top job on planet Earth. Your critics would say that's the epitome of tech bro arrogance. What is your response to that? I get that you're an outsider. Personally, I like outsiders. But what have you done that even qualifies you to be president of the United States?
So look, yeah, he came in hot. I wasn't ready for that. He didn't even waste no time at all. Good God, my man.
Look, Mehdi, I have been taking on bureaucracies my entire life. I took on the bureaucracy of big pharma starting in my late 20s, at a time when I think pharma was corrupt and going in a lot of directions that they shouldn't have been. I actually built a multi-billion-dollar business developing medicines that pharma had abandoned. I took on the ESG bureaucracy.
So he's taking on big pharma by being big pharma?
Competing with firms like BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard to build a successful firm called Strive. Yes, none of that is in government, but it is in the private sector. It involves taking on bureaucracies.
Okay.
And that exactly is my mission here, is taking on the biggest bureaucracy of all. That
I kind of feel like Vivek might be one of the Mexican aliens. You guys think that's possible? He kind of looks like one of the Mexican aliens, doesn't he? I'm not talking about the illegal kind. I'm talking about like the ones they just found in Peru or whatever. It kind of looks like one, don't he?
in the federal government in Washington, D.C. And the other thing I'll add to that, Mehdi, is it's not just the outsider pitch. I think we do need an outsider. I think it's good to have a business background. But I'm also an outsider who deeply understands the law and the Constitution in this country. And I think that's the unique combination that actually makes this my calling. And I hope that we're going to be successful in reviving this country.
So you talk about your business background. Let's talk about that. You made your name and made a lot of your early big money from pushing an Alzheimer's drug that had already failed 4 clinical trials when you bought it. You then talked it up on CNBC and Forbes on the...
Damn. Well, he looked a lot different. He should grow that. He should get that facial hair back. He like right here, he looks like 12. Look at that. It's got kind of like I'm 12, I'm set at the table kind of thing going on right there. That actually looks okay. I think what he needs to do to get people to take him seriously again is to grow back that facial hair. Really add some maturity.
On the cover, your company's subsidiary shot up by billions in value when it went public in 2015. But then the drug failed its phase 3 trial on your watch. The company lost 75% of its value in a single day. Ordinary investors like the California State Teachers Pension Fund lost hundreds of...
And they picked that picture too. Damn, Mehdi. Dude, this is targeted. This is well planned out, man. Holy shit. Look at that picture they used for him.
Thousands of dollars.
God damn.
But you cashed out beforehand via your parent company to the tune of, I believe, over $37 million. Your critics say it's a classic pump and dump scheme. What do you say to that?
Yeah, Mehdi, that's the standard opposition research during politics reading.
Redonk, bro. Redonk. Vivek was doing the same thing we were doing during COVID, trying to make money off the stock market.
Line. Anybody in the biotech industry knows this story very well. 99.7% of Alzheimer's drugs have failed. That's thousands of drugs. Mine was one of them. But the company I founded, Roivant, developed a range of medicines. And the way I made my money was not through the failure of that Alzheimer's drug. This is one of the pieces of misinformation from opposition research. I could have sold shares in that subsidiary Alzheimer's company, but didn't. So the person who was hurt by that was me.
Hold on.
But
you say this a lot, but you did sell shares in Roivant, and you made $37 million.
And Mehdi,
37 million.
It's like, dude, there's only 37 million. That's not even that much money.
Mehdi, I think you owe it to your audience. Mehdi, I think you owe it to your audience to be accurate. That is shares in a different company, not Axovant, and those shares that I sold are worth And those shares.
Exactly. Oh my god, dude. The parent company. That matters, Vivek. That matters. Holy shit. I know that there's not a lot of people out there that are smart enough on his side of the aisle to catch that, but that's pretty fucking important that you sold the shares in the parent company. It still fucking matters. Oh my god.
Worth dramatically more today. So I would have made more money had I held on to
I only made 37 million. I could have made like 74 million.
Those shares. So don't believe what the opposition research purveys through the media.
It's not opposition research. We looked at your tax returns, which you very kindly have released.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I voluntarily released because I want to be transparent.
You made 300 grand in 2014 on capital gains. In 2015, after the IPO of this AXA van, you made $37 million in capital gains.
Okay, I don't know if I want Vivek to be the president, but I would like to talk to Vivek about some investment opportunities. I need somebody to look at my portfolio for me.
Others didn't make
after
that kind of money.
After Mehdi, give me a break. After Roivant, the multi-billion-dollar business that developed 40
Vivek just called timeout. He said, "Give me a break."
40+ medicines. Yes, I sold shares in that business. If I may actually allow you to know how I made my money, developed 5 FDA-approved therapies that are now FDA-approved today.
After you sold
one
the
of them is a
companies.
life-saving
They weren't
therapy
FDA
in
approved
kids.
when you were CEO,
Another
were
one.
they?
They were FDA.
Damn.
Actually, over the time that I developed them, we took them all the way through phase 3, and then we did a $3 billion deal that actually
they were approved a year and a half later after you sold the company.
Yes, so Mehdi, I'm not going to fault you for not knowing the first thing about biotech because that's not your job. But getting through phase 3 is the final stage of clinical testing. Before you hand in the application, yes, my company did a $3 billion deal that actually did make money for those shareholders. And so, yes, I have built Roivant's a publicly traded company, nearly $10 billion public company today that I built as the sole founder from scratch, as one of several companies that I've built. So, yes, I have a business record that I'm proud of and will equip me to lead this country.
You mentioned stage 3 trials. The Alzheimer's drug failed it after you did a lot of touting of it. You say 99.7% failed. You never said that at the time. Do you have any regrets about how you hyped that drug?
I did say that.
CEO of Roivant said this week that you hyped the drug. Do you regret hyping it?
Damn.
We did not hype the drug. To the contrary, actually, one of the things that I found
this week.
Oh, damn.
Well, I can't speak for what Israel is. I haven't read any article that you're quoting, so I don't exactly know what you're referring to. The fact of the matter is, though, I have been transparent at every step of the way. Everyone who is in the biotech industry knows that Alzheimer's disease is the graveyard for medicines. But I still think it's an important area.
Hold on. He's like, everybody knew this was going to fail, but they knew we were also going to make a lot of money off of it. Like, dude, that's just, come on, man.
Of need. And I'll say this, Mehdi, is, you know what? If I serve for 2 terms, I'm still going to be in my 40s when I leave the White House. It is a personal passion of mine to come back and see if Alzheimer's disease hasn't been cured. I do want to play a role in still delivering treatments and cures for that disease.
Okay.
And people who don't take risks, don't achieve meaningful impact, the medicines that I did develop, I'm proud of. And you don't get there without having a number of medicines that you test along the way. And the other thing I will say is our success rate under my watch was higher than probably nearly 99.9% of biotech startups in the last decade. So, yeah, I stand by that record. I'm not afraid of taking risks. That's part of the American spirit.
Technically, the successes were a year and a half after you sold the company, but we'll get bogged down. Let's talk politics.
Mehdi, that's dead wrong, and I would sorry to say you're embarrassing yourself in front of anybody who knows anything about biotech for knowing that face.
Hey, how many of you guys know anything about biotech? I don't know nothing about biotech, so sorry, Vivek. I think you're appealing to the wrong crowd right now.
3 trials are the final stage.
Okay.
The final stage, the FDA phase 3 study.
Someone tells me there's not a lot of Trump supporters out there that know a lot about biotech.
Is succeeded. So you're barking up the wrong tree.
But let's talk politics. We do. We want to talk lots of stuff. Sure. You're an advocate, your critics say, of fantasy politics, of magical thinking. They say you propose stuff that can't be done. For example, you said on Meet the Press the other week that if you had been in Mike Pence's place on January the 6th, you would have insisted on first passing a bill that night to bring in single-day voting on Election Day with paper ballots.
That's inaccurate.
Government issued ID.
I never said that night. I never said that night.
What you would have done on January the 6th, and you said I would have done this. And
I said what I would have done differently is that I was precise about the period between, and this is still ambitious, I will admit, but at least let's get my view correct. It is ambitious. Between November 4th and January 6th, I
You
think
never
it was
said
an
anything about
opportunity
November
for
4th.
heroism.
Just to be clear, you never said
Absolutely
anything
have
about
said it
November.
every step.
Let's play the clip.
He's like Trump. He's like, I said it in my head though. Like I said it in my head, so that counts, right? I thought it.
Guys, do we have the clip?
I've said this in countless forums.
Yeah, let's watch the clip.
I've said this
Let's watch the clip.
on
Vivek.
your Chuck Todd splice script in all of my written statements and everything I've said.
Hold on,
we've
we're
said
playing the clip right
in
now.
that
Let's
period
play the clip.
between the election. Here's what I would have said: we need single-day voting on election day. We need paper ballots, and we need government-issued ID matching the voter file. And if we achieve that, then we have achieved victory, and we should not have any further complaint about election integrity.
So what was it?
I would have driven it through the Senate.
So what would you have done with Mike Pence? You would have not certified the election?
So in my capacity as president of the Senate, I would have led through that level of reform. Then on that condition, certified the election results, served it up to the president, President Trump, then to sign that into law, and on January 7th, declared the re-election campaign pursuant to a free and fair election.
Vivek, not only do you not mention anything about November, but let's say you did do November. That joint session was not a legislative
that's still ambitious.
session.
That's
the
still
vice
ambitious.
president doesn't have the power to introduce legislation. Neither party would have backed such a bill.
Oh, come on,
and it couldn't have
Mehdi.
been passed in a day.
The
You're
fact
just
of the
saying
matter is,
naive stuff
the
that can't be
president.
done.
It's just Trump 101. So him on the side, dude. Them putting him on the side. This is the pettiest interview. I mean, I'm loving it, but this is the pettiest shit I have ever seen. This is hilarious. He's just like sitting on the side, just like, what did I say? What did I say? Oh my God, what did I say? Holy shit. They just like, they did this man wrong. Holy shit. This is crazy. This is some crazy stuff right here.
The president and vice president absolutely drive legislation through Congress. That is exactly how
But
things
Trump
work.
wasn't doing legislation.
Now,
He was busy
view-
pushing the big lie, as you pointed out yourself in your books.
Well,
so he wasn't
and
there.
I wasn't
Mike
the vice
Pence could
president of the
not
United
have
States.
passed a bill. But
And
you
I was
asked
not
what
the
you
vice
would have done
president of the
if
United
you were
States.
Mike
You
Pence.
guys in the
What would
media,
you have done?
you guys in the MSNBC crack me up to sort of create a hypothetical situation to say, if you had been vice president, what would you have been doing? I'm telling you exactly what I've been doing, but you're saying, but that's not what
He's like, how dare you ask me a question? How dare you?
Donald Trump was doing.
MSNBC,
This is
Mike
a joke.
Pence asked you.
Let's
hold on,
actually
Vivek,
have
hold
a
on.
substantive conversation.
Hold
Do you want to
on.
have a substantive conversation
Hold
about
on.
what should have happened,
I
or do you want to
wanna
play a game of gotcha?
yes.
Because you have the choice.
I
The
wanna
choice is
ask
yours.
you
Do you
what-
actually want to have a
Can I
substantive
speak?
conversation? If you do, I'm down to do it.
Will
Do you
you let me
want a
get a
substantive
word in?
conversation? What we need.
You
is-
said
well,
substantive four times.
Actually,
Can I
if you
speak?
want
This is like the debates on YouTube right now. They just yell at each other.
to get a word in, you know, if you're going to speak the
Mike
truth and ask a
Pence,
legitimate
Vivek.
question, have at it.
I think
Let's
it is a
actually have a
legitimate question.
substantive
Multiple
conversation.
people wondered about your knowledge of how Congress works, suggesting Mike Pence, by the way, on the debate stage, asked you if you would have supported what he did. It's not an MSNBC question. It's a Republican vice president question.
Yes.
Yeah, he
so
did.
fine, you don't want to
And
answer
what
it.
I'm
You think
saying
you
is,
could have
it
passed
was
a
a
bill.
missed opportunity for heroism. Not in one day, but I think that in a period of 2 months. And I think you're a smart guy.
It
You
couldn't have been
understand
done
this.
in a lame duck
There's an
Congress,
American
Vivek. You're a
confidence.
smart guy.
And what does he mean by heroism? Like, I am not a Mike Pence fan, but Jesus Christ, Mike Pence did what he was supposed to do. If there was any heroism on January 6th when it comes to Donald Trump or Mike Pence or Vivek, like, Mike Pence was the better man. And that just hurts to say. Oh, God. I think I need to go wash myself.
You know it couldn't have been done in 2 months.
I think under extraordinary circumstances, in extraordinary times, we have an American Confidence in Elections Act. It's literally making its way through Congress now. ACE. I support it. I think if we had gotten that done during that window.
Yeah, how long ago did they start with that? I bet they didn't do it in a fucking day, Vivek.
Further, we said single-day voting on
Democrats
election day
wouldn't have
as a
agreed to
national
voting
holiday.
ID, and Mitch McConnell wouldn't have agreed to a national
I think
holiday.
Democrats should
we
agree
could
to
argue
it.
for
And what about people that are overseas? What about the military? Jesus Christ, you can't just have everybody vote in one day. That's literally, like, we already have a problem with people not turning out. You want less people to turn out? I don't understand this way of thinking at all. Like, what would be the point of making single-day voting? Like, we already, like, what is it? Something like 50% of people already don't show up. That just makes no. I don't get it.
Forever. We can argue
I
forever
think
about that.
Democrats should agree to it.
That's a
And
different
that's what I
argument. It
stand
wouldn't
for.
have
I
happened,
think
is
we're
what
still
I'm
going to get
saying.
that done when I'm the president.
Okay.
When
So
I'm
you
the
said
president,
recently, so
not
you
in some
make a lot of-
fantasy land where I was vice president in
Got it.
some
So
other
let's-
year in the historical
let's
history.
talk about you as
but
president.
in actual, what I'm running for,
Understood.
this is what we're going to do.
Let me ask a question so we don't run out of time. Please don't filibuster. I just want to ask a question about
Please.
when you're president, you say you said, this is your
Yes.
words, quote, if you want to stay out of no-win wars and make America stronger at home, I know how to get that done. Genuine question,
Yes.
Vivek, not a gotcha. How? How do you know how to get that done? With respect,
Yes.
you've literally never done anything like that in your life. I could go out on the street outside the studio, grab someone. They have as much experience as you do of keeping us out of foreign wars. That's not an insult. That's just a statement of fact.
No, it's not an insult. It's a fact, right? And it is
Damn, but it sounds a lot like an insult.
it's also a fact that everybody else who does have experience in the foreign policy establishment has been sending us into no-win wars for a long time. Both of
Dude, Vivek would give Trump or give Putin a call, and he'd be like, "Knock it off, knock it off." Isn't that what Trump's supposed to do?
those are facts. Here's how I would do it. Let's get specific, and I'm glad we finally gotten to the doorstep of actually discussing a policy agenda. Here's what I would do. Pull Russia apart in its military alliance with China. Those two countries are in a military treaty dating.
What the fuck does he think he's gonna do? Oh, dude, he's like Trump 2.0. Like, he's totally just Trump. It's like, how are you gonna pull Trump? Or I'm sorry, Trump and Russia. Trump. How are you gonna pull Trump and Russia apart? How are you gonna pull Russia and China apart? They're like literally bosom buddies. Like, they are best of friends. Like, Russia right now is about to have talks with Kim Jong-un, and China has zero problems with that. What is he going to do to take, like, we're literally trying to pull our chip production out of Taiwan because China is going to take Taiwan at one point or another. What does he think is going to pull those two countries apart? Let's let the man talk, I guess.
Back to 2001. That is the single greatest threat that the United States faces. So I would end the Ukraine war on terms that, yes, allow Ukraine to at least come out with its sovereignty intact.
Yeah, you're right, DJ. He's the wrong skin tone. Poor dude. Poor dude is just, he's running, he's trying so hard. He wants to be their best friend. They're not willing to let him do that, though. Feel kind of bad for him.
Which may not even be the track they're on right now. But in return, and also make a commitment that NATO will not admit Ukraine to NATO. In conjunction, and by the way, for people in the foreign policy establishment, they forgot that Gorbachev was made that promise by James Baker in the United States in 1990. Well, so keep our word there, but in return, actually make a hard requirement that Vladimir Putin exit his military alliance with China.
I've heard you say this many times.
No, he's not going to do that. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with these people? I grew up in a trailer park, so you have to forgive me, but that sounds like the dumbest shit I've ever heard. What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Russian military
this guy's
presence
a clown.
From the West. That's the deal that I would do.
Again, the fantasy land is why would Putin just agree with you? Why?
Yeah, but read on. Obama, okay? Obama was a Democrat. Ramaswamy joined the wrong group, bro. The wrong group. But that's what you do when you grift, man. When you're grifting, you go where the grifting's good, okay? And right now, the Conservative Party is just like grift fucking central. It is the kingdom of grift. It is Griftonia. It is where you go if you're a black dude and you want to say, like, slavery wasn't that bad. Join Griftonia. If you want to be the young Indian guy that's like, I was totally an immigrant. And, vote for me because, like, I'll make you guys look not racist. Griftonia! God damn it, man.
Why? Because you asked nicely, Putin will hold his word. He'll pocket your concessions and not just carry on dealing with his biggest trading partner, China?
Well, here's the thing. I actually think that China shouldn't be his biggest trading partner. I think it's a mistake that we've closed off economic relations with Russia. I would lead both the United States and the West to reopen economic relations with Russia because Putin does not enjoy being Xi Jinping's little brother. Mehdi, you're a smart guy. Look at what he's done. He's actually sent weapons to both India and Vietnam right after the February 2022 meeting he had with Xi Jinping. There are cracks in that armor, but we need to actually open our eyes to see the opportunity staring us in the face.
We will have to agree to disagree.
Okay, I'm not going to say he's wrong there. Maybe he's got something that he's onto. But I think he is completely overestimating how large those cracks in the armor are. Vivek, buddy, this is why people are concerned, because people might not like Joe Biden, but at least as a career politician, he does have these connections and does know the game. Like, what Vivek's doing here is he's making assumptions about things that he has very little knowledge about. And I mean, he just admitted to it. He said, yes, it's like pulling me or Redonk off the street and asking us what we think they should do. Like, you know that you don't have the knowledge, and then you express with the utmost confidence that you would get two of the largest, closest superpowers to break up. I don't get that. I don't understand this, man.
Agree whether we think that you can persuade Vladimir Putin to drop his alliance with Xi Jinping. You have made truth the centerpiece of your campaign. So let's talk about your trustworthiness.
Yes.
For example, when CNN quoted you talking to The Atlantic about 9/11 and federal agents possibly being on the planes, you said the quote is wrong, actually. But the quote wasn't wrong. The Atlantic released the audio of what you saying exactly what they said you said.
Mehdi, actually,
let me finish the question.
Let me be crystal clear.
Let me finish the question.
The Atlantic should release the whole tape. They refused to do it. Yeah.
You said on Twitter Spaces last month that no, you would never supported Bernie Sanders' mask for all legislation, but you literally...
I just saw it. You said bucket, and I wanted to talk about that. Jesus is too progressive for conservatives now. That is the truth. I literally saw something the other day that said that left-wing people have begun to support Jesus too much in the fact that he was a kind, supposedly, allegedly, a kind person that you know, turned the other cheek and whipped the tax people and, you know, did all the, he was non-judgmental and all this stuff. And they're like, yeah, it turns out Jesus is actually a little too liberal for most of us now, so we're going to have to find somebody different. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, you shouldn't be, I don't know, you shouldn't be mad that people are saying the dude that you guys like is a nice dude. Like, we can't use him anymore. Like, it's the truth. That's a joke, Bucket, but it's not a joke. It's really happening. It's actually happening. Republicans and conservatives are starting to doubt their love for Jesus now because they're like, he's too progressive. What the fuck is this world? Oh, man. This is insane.
They put out a tweet in July of 2020 calling it a sensible idea. You also said not once but twice in June and July that the first time you'd ever voted was in 2020 for Trump, but in fact the first time you voted for president was in 2004 for a pro-choice libertarian candidate. How can people believe what you say?
So, Mehdi, let me just go through one by one. The Atlantic, yes, purposefully spliced an out-of-context quote where we have challenged them. They released the tapes. We asked them for the tapes first. They didn't give them to us. They waited then to splice them and release them publicly. I challenged the Atlantic to release that entire conversation. And what was a conversation about how many federal agents were in the field.
You said was wrong. We all heard it. We can play it if you like.
No,
it is exactly
play it. Play
They put words in your mouth.
Look, if you want hard facts, here
Dude,
are hard facts. That
Come
day,
on.
The Atlantic printed it. I said, that looks like something that never captured the character of our conversation. Can you ask Atlantic for the tapes? They said they would refuse to release the recording to us. So when Caitlin asked me about it, I said, that does not at all sound like the context of what I said. And then, you know, it turns out the Atlantic releases a very... Everybody should listen to it.
You're putting words in my mouth.
It functionally sends the wrong message, Mehdi.
Oh, functionally. Okay. You
It
could
was
have said it's out of context. You said
so
the quote
badly
was
taken out of
wrong.
context that it misled their audience. It was so
sure
badly
it was.
taken out of context, it was basically a lie and it misled their audience. But ask the Atlantic to
not a
release
lie.
it. So my view here is,
The lie
here's
is
what I've
denying
learned
you
is
said
the
words that we
media
all heard you say
distortion
on tape.
filters.
Dude, play the clip. Play the clip.
Mehdi,
God
if they
damn
are
it,
going
play
to
it.
cut something before and after without the question of what the guy is that came beforehand, Come on, why wouldn't the Atlantic? Why are they so reluctant to release the whole recording?
Maybe
Ask
because the
yourself
audio
answer to
they
that
released,
question.
you're still
Of course it
denying
is,
you
they're
said
hiding
what's on the
something.
audio. Okay, let's ask you this question. Is Donald Trump,
It's a
as you
joke
say
that the
now,
media is going to selectively edit this, and this is the way this game is played.
Trump,
Politics is dirty. That's okay.
It's
I'm ready
not
for
edited,
it.
just to be clear. Is Donald Trump, as you say now, the
It was
best president
absolutely
of the
sliced
21st century?
Yeah, of the 21st.
Whether or not this is bad faith or not, this is a bad idea for Vivek, dude. What the fuck were you thinking? Like, why would you go on this show with the dude that they pay to debate people? Like, did you think he was going to toss you some softballs, bro? Like, did you think he was going to play nice? Like, that alone shows that he has zero idea what he would do as a presidential candidate. Like, if Mehdi Hasan is working you, son, what are you going to do against Putin? Yeah, at least he's making appearances. This is not a good appearance. Redonk. Going on. Like, if you're a fighter and you just go in the ring and get your ass whooped, is that good because you're getting in fights? You're like, well, at least he showed up. He's getting his ass whooped. Like, he hasn't had a zinger yet. He's just getting his ass whooped. This is like going in and throwing like 2 shots and dude just beats you for 5 straight fucking rounds. There's nothing. He's got to at least get a hit in. Yeah. We haven't watched one yet.
Century. Yes,
Let me ask my question. Let me finish the question. Is Donald Trump, as you say now, the best president of the 21st century, who you say you want as an advisor and a mentor if you become president? Or is Trump, as you've said in the past, in your books, on Twitter, a, quote, sore loser who is a, quote, danger to democracy and who did, quote, downright abhorrent and egregious things on January the 6th? Which one is he, Vivek?
So to be crystal clear, between George Bush, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Donald...
Okay. We're going to hear the words, to be crystal clear, a lot. He's doing a podcast? Yeah, but I could do a podcast and look good, dude. Come on. You got to be able to, if you're going to be the president of the United States, you got to be able to handle yourself in like confrontations, dude.
Donald Trump. Those are the presidents of the 21st century. Donald Trump is unambiguously, as judged by the results, the best president of the 21st century. Kept us out of wars, grew the economy. I give him full credit for that. I want to...
Yeah, but every single president has grown the economy. Donald Trump added $8 trillion in debt to our debt. That was like fucking like, what was it? What is that? It was like 23 before he did. So that is, what is that? 30%? 30%. $8 trillion in debt. And I've said this before. I'm willing to give him a little bit of leeway with the whole COVID thing happening. But what people continue to fuck up is Donald Trump didn't have the lowest gas prices for the last 8 or 12 years. Obama did. Obama's last year was $2.25. Trump's best year was $2.26. When it comes to the economy, GDP has grown for over 60 years. So good job keeping it rolling and not fucking that up. That doesn't make him any better than any other one. Yeah, gas hit $5 here too, but it's due to the Ukraine war, COVID, global inflation, literal global inflation. Inflation in America for the last 2 months was 3.12% and then 2.97%. We're looking at a point right now where when we go into December, we might actually be at 2%, which is where you want to be for inflation. When you go into January and February, we might go into what's called deflation. And if you look at Obama's years between 2008 and 2016, when he went through the housing collapse and the bank bailouts, you can see a very incredibly similar pattern of where we're going to be looking at next year. We might go into a recession. We most likely are going into deflation. But that is how the economy works. I'm just saying something like Donald Trump is the best president. Donald Trump's tariffs murdered farmers. Farmers went bankrupt because of Donald Trump's tariffs. Like, that is the most disingenuous and dumb thing that anybody has ever said.
Build on that foundation and take this country to the next level.
You've also called him a sore
Does that mean
loser
I would have
who is a
made...
danger to democracy.
Would I have...
And pointing that out. He literally called him a sore loser and a danger to democracy. Like, you can't You can have two beliefs, but they gotta somehow come together, my man. They gotta come together.
Strong words.
Would I have made the same judgments that he has made at every step of the way? No, I will remind you that I am running for U.S. president because I am best positioned to lead this country forward.
Can I ask you what they are, Vivek?
Yes.
You say he behaved in downright abhorrent behavior that makes him a danger to democracy. What was it that was downright? Tell me what he did that was downright abhorrent.
Let's actually be really fair to your audience. So on January 10th, 2021, thereabouts, days after that incident, I wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal arguing that censorship was the real cause of what happened on January 6th. When asked in response, somebody asked me the question, are you... That's what I wrote. I'm giving you the facts of what I said. That's a hard fact. That was published in the Wall Street Journal. When pressed on, was that condoning what Trump did? My answer was no. There's a difference between a bad judgment and a crime.
And
we need to be able to tell the difference in this country.
What did Donald Trump do,
no, I'm not avoiding
in your
question.
view,
He's literally avoiding the question.
I think that the thing that I would have done differently if I were in his shoes
not what I asked,
is
Vivek,
I would have
respect.
declared...
See, this is the problem when people say things like, I'm not a politician, and then answer every fucking question like a politician. Just say, this is what I thought was abhorrent. But he knows better. Because if he says one bad word about Big Daddy Trump, he ain't gonna even sniff DeSantis's asshole. Okay? Like, he's like this close behind right now, but he can't quite smell it. He knows if he says one wrong thing right now, that all the Trump supporters will just fucking run from him. Because he's the wrong skin color for him. He's already one fucking negative away from just not even being on the stage anymore. Like, if he would answer these questions, like legitimately answer these questions, I'm just like anybody else. I'd love to see somebody come into politics that's like a breath of fresh air. Somebody new, somebody different. But Vivek's not it. He's not it. He's not even a hope. Because he's just like them. Just like Donald Trump was. Anybody that thought that Donald Trump was any different, Donald Trump hung out with every politician that was on that stage 10, 15 years ago. He was donating money to all of those people as a lobbyist. Donald Trump wasn't different, and neither is Vivek. This is not the politician you are looking for.
Re-election on January 7th.
I'll ask it a third time.
That's exactly the thing I would have done.
What did Trump do that was egregious, quote, downright abhorrent, and a danger to democracy? Can you just explain to our viewers? Your words.
So you're mixing two different quotes. But what did I think was reprehensible about what happened that day? Look, I think that the way a true leader should have handled that situation should have been to actually say, this is me running for re-election, not actually litigating what is already passed and behind us. And I would have done things differently. That is not a crime.
Okay, like, he just needs to say that in better words. If he's trying to say that Donald Trump should have just moved on and ran for re-election, then great. I actually 100% agree with that. But he's got to use better words. Why use language like that? Because he's trying to be indirect. He's trying to say something that Trump supporters can't quite understand. But don't do that. Just be honest. Just say he should have said, okay, I lost. It's time to move on. I'm running for my next election. That's it. That's all he had to do. If Vivek's trying to say that, I agree. But he's not, because he doesn't want to lose it. What do you call that? A single issue voter? Yeah, you're a single issue voter. I'm pro-choice. That's my single issue. Gas prices. That is yours, sir. President Kamala? Could happen. Could happen. You better be careful. But she'll put us all in jail for weed, though. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'm down with that. I like Kamala, actually. Kamala's got that mom energy, dude. Kamala throw a fucking flip-flop at you from across the room. Guarantee it. You better keep it down over there. Election incumbent? I don't know. Well, they're not going to impeach him anyways. They don't have anything on him. If they did, they would have done it a long time ago. There's a video of Kevin McCarthy talking about how they had nothing on him, and then Kevin McCarthy decided, because Marjorie Taylor Greene held him down in the office and did that like spit thing where they like dribble the spit towards you. I did that thing to him. You know that Marjorie Taylor Greene is bullying the shit out of Kevin McCarthy back there. Marjorie Taylor Greene probably lifts more than anybody in that entire like Senate, House, all of it, dude. I bet she's stronger than all of them.
what
I
he
understand.
did. And the reason I have been so vehement.
You keep saying what you would have done. I just want to hear from your mouth. No, unless you're scared of him, why won't you say what he did that was downright abhorrent?
I'm not going to let you stitching together three things from three different places to create a caricature. Do you want to have an actual conversation?
Yes, I want you to answer my question, Vivek. Three times I've asked it.
What
did Trump do that was downright abhorrent?
Hey, there it is. What Trump did last week was wrong, downright abhorrent, plain and simple. I've said it before and did so in my piece. All he's saying is just answer that shit. What is abhorrent? He literally, in the quote, he says plain and simple. Then fucking say it. Plain and simple. Say what he did. He won't do it because he's scared.
It's a simple question. It's your words. It's on screen.
I think
what did he do that was downright abhorrent?
I believe that failing to unite this country falls short of what a true leader ought to do. That is why I'm in this race, is to do things differently than any prior president has done them.
But once again, he's just using this like roundabout language. He failed to unite this country. Say what he did. Say that he cast dispersions on the legitimacy of the democracy of the United States. That he, without evidence, claimed that the entire election was rigged. Not just kind of rigged, but like crazy fucking rigged. Like, he literally believes that he should have won every state in America, including California. And if you think that Donald Trump should have won California, you need to be on SSRIs. SSRIs are for, like, Social Security people. SRIs. Because there's absolutely no fucking way that Donald Trump won California. That's insanity. Donald Trump had zero evidence. It's been proven in all of the indictments that he was wrong. It's been proven in the phone call to Georgia that not only was he wrong, he was told he was wrong by the people that work with him, by the people that he asked to investigate it, and he still went. Not only did he still go to the legislature and tell them that dead people voted, but he increased the number. In the phone call, he was told that 4 people did it, or 2 people, and then they did another investigation, and we was told there's 4 people. He claimed there's 5,000 people that voted that were dead. He then went in front of the legislature and said there was 10,000. So not only did he lie, but he exaggerated the lie when he went in front of the fucking people that he wanted to get to change the electorates. Just say it. You want to not be a politician? You want to be different than everybody else? Then stand up and actually say shit that's true. That'll make you a lot different.
That's the hard truth, okay?
And that's what
now,
made
the
him a sore
reality is
loser and a
the
abhorrent.
media
Yes, your word.
and the Well, the reality is none of that is a crime.
Really?
And the reason I have been so vocal, the reason I have been so vocal is because when somebody actually prosecutes somebody for a bad judgment, and I've been clear,
I understand your objections to the litigation.
I would have made different
that.
judgments.
That's not what I asked about. I
That is a
understand.
distinction we have to draw.
Understood. You say you are anti-identity politics, anti-affirmative action in a party that hates the Soros name, yet you accepted a Paul and Daisy Soros scholarship at law school that was specifically set up for the children of immigrants. It was an affirmative action scholarship, and your defense for that is that you didn't have the money to pay for law school, even though you'd already made over $1 million at the time, and made another $2 million.
My defense of that is somebody gives you a merit scholarship at the age of 24, you take it. At the age of 24, somebody gives you a merit scholarship, you take it. I didn't say I didn't have the money. I said at a time when I had a lot less money than now, $50,000
you said
was still
exactly
useful
have
to
the money
to me.
You keep forgetting your quote. You said, when I didn't have the money.
Damn.
So Mehdi, I made this really easy for everybody.
Damn.
And I did this in the early weeks of the campaign.
Yeah.
I released 20 years of tax return.
Dude, that's probably the most damage that they could possibly do to him. Right there. What do you think all those QAnon people are thinking right now when they see that he has a George Soros scholarship? What do you think all those QAnon people are thinking? He's a plant. He's a plant. Do I care? I care about it because he's saying he's nothing different than any other politic or politician. Everybody, when they talk about Donald Trump being a good businessman, what they're actually saying is Donald Trump knows how to abuse the bankruptcy system. Donald Trump knows how to sue people Donald Trump knows how to like get around like every like regulation and knows how to lobby other politicians to get to be better taken care of. Like, I care about that because when a guy says that he's different than everybody else and then can't prove that he's any different than everybody else, then he's fucking lying to me, and I don't like being lied to. I really dislike dishonest people. So I get you don't care about it, but I definitely care about it because he's saying he's somebody he isn't. If he's not that person, then great, but he isn't. He's just like everybody else. He's every other politician, and he's no different. The only difference is that he doesn't even have any fucking experience. That's the difference.
Yes, you
Something
did.
that no.
He's not he took a George Soros grant. He's literally like out of one side of his mouth talking with people that literally hate George Soros and create a bunch of conspiracy theories that in regards to him being some kind of fucking demon, and then out the other side of his mouth going, yeah, for sure, I'll take that grant. Like, that is hypocrisy. And that shouldn't be in any way. No one should be rewarding that. I thought, like, everybody keeps talking about how they want honest politicians, but they don't give a shit that people do stuff like this? You're not going to get honest politicians by being like, well, everybody else does, it's cool.
Presidential candidate, let alone somebody who's successful in business, has done. I challenge Democrats and Republicans alike, including the Biden family, to do it.
And
you know what? I released it so that you could look at them, so we can have an honest conversation.
And I appreciate that.
The funny thing I've learned,
I do appreciate that. It's something Trump should learn from
transparency is
you.
important.
Look,
so it's already open and everybody can see it.
Exactly. We have 2009.
But the fact of the matter is, you know what I would advise every
24-year-old
should take
2009 and 2010. You made $750,000. You had the money to pay for law school. You didn't need a Soros affirmative action scholarship that you now criticize.
I mean, none of this is worthy, but if you think it is, let's get to the detail. That was actually the first big piece of money.
You say you're anti-affirmative action. You took a scholarship for immigrants.
I'm anti-affirmative action.
So why did you take a scholarship for the children of immigrants?
Which falsehood would you like me to address? The financial one or the one about my views on affirmative action? Because I can go in whichever order you'd like.
On
the financial piece of it, not at the
time. That's what he's about to say. Oh my God. Just admit it, bro. Just admit it. Fuck it. Redonk's willing to support you. And I'm not going to say there isn't a bunch of other people that are willing to too. There's plenty of people that would say the same thing Redonk did. Like I don't give a shit. But the problem here is, like, you just can't, like, just say it. Just fucking say it. Go, yeah, I did that shit. Redonk, I would vote for you before I vote for Vivek here. Because at least you admit that you're okay with that shit.
The time that I had applied for the scholarship that fall.
Yes, you did.
That December.
Yes, you did,
on
Vivek. This is awkward for you because you
me,
did. I've got the tax returns in front of my face.
No, it's not awkward for you. Yes, on December 31st, when the application for the scholarship was that October. Mehdi, you're wasting your time on childish details in October of that year when I applied for that scholarship. And it was, well, guess what? The bonuses that a hedge fund pays, and it's a shame that, again, you don't have to be an expert on this, but if you're going to spout out, you better know something about it.
Dude, when you say the bonuses on a hedge fund, when you're talking about bonuses from a hedge fund, and you're talking about taking grants that immigrants could have used, like, that's fucking sad, dog. That's so sad. Somewhere out there, somebody could have used that grant, and Vivek's ass took it because he only made $750,000 that year in bonuses. He just hadn't gotten it yet.
People pay at a hedge fund the bonuses at the end of the year, and on December 31st, that's when I was paid. I applied for the scholarship that September, and I did not grow up in a wealthy family.
Vivek, you made more money the previous year.
I made $200,000 pre-tax or whatever it was.
No, you didn't.
And you know what? I believe.
Hold on. No, you didn't. You're now selling flat. In 2009,
you have my tax returns in front of you. I don't remember what I made in 2009.
In 2009, you made $650,000.
Hold on. In 2009, you made $650,000. Do I think he was a person that's what I'm saying, Redonk, is he probably the biggest mistake he made with his crowd is accepting a George Soros grant. Like that's exactly what his fucking crowd is going to be asking now. Is the QAnons of the world are going to be sitting there going like, is he a plant? Did George Soros buy him and put it? Do you think? Okay, let's talk about this. Let's just go ahead and let's put it out there into the world right now. Do you think 4 years from now, or even next year, Donald Trump loses the election? How much of it do you think people put on Vivek? How many people in the QAnon atmosphere say that Vivek was there to sabotage Donald Trump's campaign? How much you want to make a bet? I'm willing to put money on that one.
$50,000. In 2010, you made less, $450,000. So the argument that you only made the money pre the scholarship, so now we're bringing tax into it. We've been using gross numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn, but 450 pre-tax is still like 275. You still made almost 300 grand that year.
Vivek, how much on this? Go back and check your tax returns.
$50,000 obviously makes a big difference.
And then you accepted a Soros scholarship for $50,000 when you didn't need it.
Well, you know what the fact is, Mehdi, is $50,000 did make a big difference to me back then, and anybody who has a few $100,000 in the bank is going to take
Damn. Vivek just showing how out of touch he is. Anybody that's got a couple $100,000 in their bank. Oh, fuck. I need to know the people Vivek knows.
$1,000 without strings attached. Take the scholarship. But my question for you is, why on earth are you, as an intelligent person interested in politics, obsessing over a 24-year-old's $50,000 scholarship?
I'm interested.
That's a stupid question. That's a stupid fucking question. Why would he be interested in your past? Because it makes you who you are. It makes all of the things that you stand on seem fucking suspect. That's why he would care about your past. Just own it, bro.
It would seem beneath you.
It's on your cap that you wear.
And
I'm interested in truth.
And Mehdi, that's why I released 20. Mehdi, that is why I released 20 years of tax records. Tell your friends in the Biden administration to do the same thing. Tell your Democrat candidates to do the same thing.
We've gone over time.
We're breaking precedents, and I think it is pathetic. I just think it is sad and pathetic that that we have important issues to talk about for the future of a country, and you're talking about a $50,000 scholarship in 2010 to go to Yale Law School when I was 24.
If you just owned
this is
pathetic.
Nobody trusts you guys.
It is pathetic in your view, but you paid a Wikipedia editor who then removed it, so clearly it's something you didn't want people to read about. Last question, because we've gone over time now.
Who also said I was born in India? Who also said I was born in India and misspelled and got my wife's name wrong? So yes, we actually need to correct facts when people are playing this game.
Last question. You want me to ask a substantive question? Here's what I worry about most: democracy in this country.
I would love substantive
not just under Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Last question for you: not just under Donald Trump, but under you, people are worried about authoritarianism. You have preemptively promised to pardon Trump no matter what juries of his peers decide, as well as today extending those pardons to January 6 rioters. You've dismissed white supremacists as boogeymen and unicorns. You want to fire at least half the federal government workforce. That's over 1 million people. You want to remove the right to vote from 18 to 25-year-olds. That's over 30 million people. You want to get rid of birthright citizenship. In fact, you refer to voting and citizenship as privileges when they are, in my view and in the Constitution view, rights. It's a very anti-democratic worldview.
Okay, I'm going to give Vivek just a little bit of a win here. That was a bit of a gish gallop on Mehdi's part. That was not even a bit of a gish gallop. That was full-on 100% gish gallop. But damn, he unloaded on him at the end. God damn. It was like Vivek was trying to get up off the canvas, and Mehdi just came in and just dropped like 7 knees to the side of his head. That poor man.
What do you say to people who criticize you for that?
I don't think it's an anti-democratic worldview. I favor reviving the lifeblood of our constitutional republic. Revive actual free speech and open debate in this country. Revive civic duty in this country, something that our founding fathers envisioned. Revive true equality in front of the law, where people aren't prosecuted because of the color of their skin or because of the content of their political views. One standard of the rule of law for everybody. I stand for the founding vision of the country, where the people who we elect to run the government ought to be the ones who
He's not saying anything. He's not saying anything.
Actually run the government, when in fact most policymaking functions in D.C. are performed by federal bureaucrats. So yes, my standard is, would Alexander Hamilton and John James and Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, would they be proud of what they see today, or would they be appalled? I think if they walked around and saw Washington, D.C. today, they would be appalled. By the time I leave office in January 2033 after 2 terms, they will once again be proud of what we've created, a government with 3 co-equal branches, not 4, shutting down that administrative state, reviving civic duty, and reviving one standard of the rule of law for all Americans. And that is not a Democratic vision or a Republican vision. That is a pro-American vision that I think can actually reunite this country, which is what I believe I will uniquely be able to deliver as the next president.
Vivek Ramaswamy, we will have to leave it there. Appreciate you coming on the show, taking my questions, even if you didn't like all of them. Appreciate you taking time out from a busy campaign.
Thank you. Look forward to discussing more of the agenda in the future.
Next time, definitely.
Thanks a lot for watching my video. If you liked it, hit that like and subscribe. If you'd like to join the Ginger Army and help support me for only $3 a month, you get to support a soulless ginger. You also get access to the Tantrum Trump and Prison Trump emojis. And don't forget to join me every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific for a live stream with yours truly. Thanks a lot, guys. Love you. Appreciate you. Stay safe out there.